Hey there, welcome back to another episode of TV6 Investigates Talks. I'm Matt Christensen, the TV6 Investigates reporter, and I'm joined here by Heidi Connect, a producer on the team. Today we're going to be talking about child labor laws, following up on a story I did a few days ago, and it has to do with the feds cracking down on some Iowa businesses.
And we should say that Jenna's not here today, but she usually is.
So these fines are coming from the Federal Department of Labor, and they have to do with a new law that Iowa passed last year that lets children work a little bit later than they normally would.
Yeah, states argue that they need to fill jobs, and teenagers need jobs. So this fills the role for smaller cities and states.
Well,
But
the problem is it's conflicting with federal law. So right now, the feds allow kids in the summer to work up until 9 p.m. And Iowa has passed a law last year that lets children work up until 11 p.m. So since then, what we're hearing is that the Department of Labor has come in this summer and started looking into some of these businesses that are employing these kids later than federal regulations allow. So one of the things that is piquing people's interest is the amount of fines on these violations, because they're not cheap. Governor Reynolds issued a statement last week saying that some Iowa businesses were being fined up to $180,000. Some would be going out of business as a result of that. So as part of my reporting, I checked with some of the Quad Cities' larger employers of 14 and 15-year-olds. You can probably guess what some of those are. And none wanted to go on camera, but they did tell me that they're still trying to kind of work through some of those laws and how to navigate this. So, I think it's a sticky situation for businesses trying to figure out whether to follow the state law right now or to follow federal regulations and what the risks of those are.
and child labor investigations are nothing new for the U.S. Department of Labor. If family small construction companies, a father was fined for hiring his kids to do some roofing work. Restaurants that are working kids overtime. So this is something they do all the time, and the thing comes in with Iowa is that Iowa just passed its own law, and it seems like the U.S. is just now kind of coming into Iowa. So that's what Iowa businesses are saying.
Yeah, I was one of a bunch of states that over the last 2 or 3 years have tried to loosen their child labor laws to be more accommodating for businesses that want to employ younger teens later into the evening, or in even different kinds of occupations than federal regulations allow. I mean, critics of the Iowa law point out that some 14 and 15-year-olds are going to be working in like meat coolers or situations like that,
Yeah.
where folks might not think it's like the safest situation for a young teen.
Yeah, for a while, child labor laws, farming has always been in its separate category from other ones, and people might not think about factories and manufacturers, that that's something else that kids could work in that are possibly more dangerous. Most people just think about small retail stores or fast food restaurants. But yeah, it's places that offer more opportunities for injury.
Right. One of the things that we've been trying to track down too is exactly which businesses are facing these fines. The state isn't really saying, and neither are the feds at this point.
Yeah, we've reached out and we sent a FOIA to the Department of Labor asking for the investigations that they've performed in Iowa, what businesses and when, and who's been cited for violations. So we're waiting back on that information.
And I'll point out that our congressional delegation is also seeking some of the same facts. All of our representatives in Iowa sent a letter to the Department of Labor last week demanding more information about, exactly what Heidi was just talking about. What's the nature of these? Why are you targeting these businesses and stuff? And so, this isn't a small issue. It's got the attention of the governor. It's got the attention of congressmen and senators right now. And, it's sort of pitting, the businesses that want to employ these folks against the people who are worried. It's sort of a dangerous situation. So what we're going to do next is wait for that FOIA to come back. We'll fill you in when that does, and then we'll see if the Department of Labor also responds to our congressional delegation, and we'll see what they have to say. So In the meantime, we'll keep doing some reporting. And I want to thank you for joining at TV6 Investigates Talks. You can look at all of our previous episodes on our website and news app. And we'll be back with more next week to talk about another investigation. Thanks.